Imagine for a second, right, that you are trying to run this massive multi-country retail operation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you've got hundreds of stores, regional distribution hubs, a corporate head office, and of course an enterprise accounting department.
Right, the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. But beneath the surface, your cash registers, your warehouse barcode scanners, and your corporate ledgers are, well, they're all running on completely different technological metabolic rates.
Oh, man. I mean,
What?
that is the ultimate architectural bottleneck, isn't it?
It really is.
You have these highly dynamic, high-speed retail environments trying to force data into, like, rigid, slow-moving financial ledgers.
Yeah.
And for you listening today, whether you are, a technology strategist, an enterprise architect, or maybe just a business leader scaling a really complex supply chain,
Yeah.
you already know the nightmare of siloed systems.
Right. We've all been there.
Exactly. We don't need to retread why bad software causes stockouts. The real question, the one we actually care about, is how you architect a solution that allows lightning-fast retail operations without feeling a corporate financial audit.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because today, our mission for this deep dive is to explore a technology overview document that reveals how modern enterprise retail ecosystems actually solve that exact bottleneck.
Yeah, it's a fascinating document.
We are going to dive deep into the operational philosophy, the technology stack, and the enterprise capabilities of the 24/7 retail platform.
Right.
And the central thesis here, the genuine architectural masterstroke, lies in a strict, uncompromising division of labor. Operational execution happens entirely within 24/7 retail.
Yes.
Financial governance, however, lives exclusively in Acumatica ERP.
That separation it's the foundational concept we need to keep in mind here.
Okay.
Think of it like a professional sports franchise.
Okay, I like this.
So 24/7 retail represents the players on the field. They are agile, they're moving fast, they're reacting to the defense, executing plays in real time, and, scoring points.
Yeah, the front line.
Exactly. Acumatica ERP, on the other hand, is the front office and the statisticians up in the booth.
Right.
They aren't down in the mud throwing the ball. They're keeping the official score, managing the salary cap, handling the payroll, and basically ensuring everything complies with the league's financial regulations.
I love that analogy. Let's actually carry that through today because, forcing the players to calculate the salary cap while running a sprint, that is exactly how a system crashes.
Right, it's a disaster.
Let's head down to the field first, the front lines. If 24/7 retail is executing the plays, the heaviest impact zone has got to be the retail point of sale, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The front-end billing architecture of 24/7 retail is built to handle just immense transaction volumes right at the edge.
Like, how fast are we talking?
We're talking about sub-second barcode scanning, complex integrations with weighted items at a deli or a grocery counter.
Oh, yeah, the scales.
Right. And multi-payment processing, where a customer splits a single transaction across, say, a gift card, a loyalty reward, and a credit card.
Which is standard now, yeah.
Exactly. But to process all of that without lag, the developers had to make a critical decision regarding how the system handles connectivity.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because I was looking at their offline resilience protocols in the document.
Oh, the offline mode is huge.
Right. If you're running a cloud-based retail network and, say, a backhoe cuts the fiber optic cable outside a flagship store during the holiday rush, the system doesn't just freeze.
No, it doesn't.
The cashier doesn't have to look at a line of 50 angry customers and say, sorry, the system is down.
Which is every retailer's worst nightmare.
Literally.
The platform actually utilizes a hybrid offline-online architecture.
How does that work?
Well, it features offline transaction support with automated synchronization buffering. So the local POS environment retains a cached version of the core product master data it needs.
Okay, so the prices and barcodes are saved locally.
Exactly. The cashier can keep scanning items, applying promotional pricing algorithms, and even generating legally compliant invoices locally. The local database just quietly built a queue.
But wait, let me push back on the technology actually running that front end for a second.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
If you are a multinational retailer, you don't have uniform hardware.
No, never.
Right. You might have 10-year-old Windows-based registers in a rural store and brand new Android tablets roaming the floor of a flagship store in the city.
Right. Hardware fragmentation is a massive issue.
So how does 24/7 retail maintain performance parity across entirely different operating systems without requiring the IT department to, manage 5 different versions of the software?
That comes down to their choice of front-end framework. They built the modern interfaces using Flutter and React.
Okay, Flutter.
Yeah, Flutter in particular is crucial here because it compiles natively. Developers write the code base once, and it deploys natively across Windows, iOS, Android, and the web.
Oh, wow. So just one code base?
Exactly. It eliminates that hardware fragmentation you just mentioned.
Hmm.
The rural store with spotty cellular infrastructure and legacy hardware can operate with the exact same software efficiency as the flagship store.
The customer never feels the infrastructure gap.
Never.
Okay, so the local store hums along offline, buffering thousands of transactions. But eventually, that fiber cable gets repaired, right? The internet comes back online.
Right.
If you have a massive outage, say a huge regional storm knocks out 100 stores all morning, when those 100 stores suddenly reconnect, doesn't all that buffered data hitting the central API layer at the exact same moment create a massive bottleneck?
It's a very valid concern.
Because SQL alone isn't going to save you if 100 locations essentially launch an unintentional DDoS attack on their own enterprise server.
Right, it's a very real concern in distributed systems. And this is where the back-end architecture proves its enterprise grade.
Okay.
The system does not just open a floodgate and dump all the offline data into the central server simultaneously.
That would be a disaster.
Total crash. They utilize ASP.NET and Nginx for their web infrastructure. Nginx acts as a highly efficient reverse proxy and load balancer.
Nginx.
Before the data even hits the core database, the synchronization engine prioritizes the data packets.
Wait, so it's actively sorting the traffic, not just catching it?
Precisely. It uses intelligent queuing. It might look at the incoming data and say, okay, adjusting the central inventory levels is mission critical. Let's route that first. The updates to customer loyalty points, that can wait 30 seconds.
Oh, that's incredibly smart.
It sends the data in optimized load balance bursts. And because the backend is built on .NET Core interacting with a Microsoft SQL Server architecture, it is specifically designed to ingest those parallel data streams without locking the database tables.
That makes total sense. You trickle the data in a highly structured way to maintain the integrity of the synchronization.
Exactly.
And if the front end never stops selling, the back end, the warehouse has to work twice as hard to keep the shelves stocked.
Right, the inventory is moving fast.
If the system is efficiently churning through customers locally, the global inventory is depleting rapidly.
And this is where 24x7 Retail transitions from a sophisticated billing system into a true enterprise-scale supply chain engine.
Right.
The multi-warehouse architecture allows businesses to operate massive central distribution hubs, regional fulfillment centers, or even treat a small individual retail branch as a micro-fulfillment center.
Which introduces massive complexity. Because tracking a box of shirts is one thing, but the document notes that the system handles batch and expiry tracking too.
Oh, yeah.
If you are listening to this and you operate in pharmaceuticals or groceries, you know the regulatory nightmare of expiry tracking.
It's a logistical puzzle that requires real-time synchronization between the central hubs and the branch outlets.
Yeah.
The put-away logic, when goods arrive on the loading dock, the pick, pack, and dispatch workflows for getting goods out to the stores,
Yeah.
all of it is governed by centralized rules, but executed locally.
So the system isn't just a passive ledger recording that a box moved. It's an active routing engine dictating how it should move.
Exactly. It's telling you what to do.
And to manage that puzzle, you have the centralized back office operations. This is where your purchasing workflows, supplier management, and product master control actually live.
Right. Think of the back office as your operational air traffic control tower.
Oh, I like that.
The individual branches are like the planes flying themselves.
Right.
Right. But the back office dictates the pricing governance, the approval hierarchies, and the inventory transfers to ensure no one crashes.
Yeah.
It allows the business to maintain strict governance over pricing while still allowing the branches to execute localized tasks.
Give me an example of that.
Sure. So if the head office decides that all winter coats in the Pacific Northwest region are going on a 20% promotion, they configure it once in the centralized product master control. The API first design then pushes that update out to the specific regional registers instantly.
Okay, so we have this incredibly robust, API-driven, scalable operational engine.
Yes.
24x7 Retail is scanning barcodes. It's buffering offline sales natively through Flutter interfaces, load balancing the data bursts via Nginx, dispatching warehouse trucks, and tracking pharmaceutical expiry dates.
It's doing a lot.
The players on the field are executing flawlessly.
They are.
But where does the actual corporate accounting happen? Because I mean, efficiently running a warehouse is an operational metric. Producing a fully compliant, audited corporate financial statement for a multinational entity with multiple currencies, that is a legal metric.
And that brings us to the most critical architectural decision we mentioned at the start, the integration with Acumatica ERP.
The separation of church and state.
Exactly.
Or, sticking to our analogy, the absolute separation of the players on the field from the statisticians in the booth.
What's fascinating here is why this separation is technologically necessary.
Because it seems counterintuitive at first, right?
Right. It's a common misconception among business leaders to think, well, if my retail platform already knows what was sold, what it cost, and who bought it, shouldn't it just handle the general ledger too?
Right. Why pay for and integrate two massive enterprise systems when one theoretically holds all the data?
Because combining them creates a system that is mediocre at both and dangerous to your business continuity.
Wow. Dangerous.
Yes. We have to look at how databases actually function. Operational speed, checking out a line of customers, moving pallets of boxes that requires a highly fluid, responsive database environment.
Right.
Operations are messy. You need to be able to avoid a transaction instantly if a customer forgets their wallet. You need to adjust a stock level on the fly if a jar of pasta sauce breaks in aisle 4.
You need flexibility.
But financial governance,
Sure.
corporate reporting, audits, multi-currency ledger consolidation.
Yeah.
That requires an uncompromising accounting engine. It requires strict audit trails, locked period closing protocols, and immutable ledger entries.
Oh, I see where this is going.
If you try to force high-speed, messy retail operations into an immutable financial ledger, the database locks up to verify every penny, and your cash registers slow to a crawl.
Because it's trying to write an audited financial record while the customer is just trying to buy a candy bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Conversely, if you try to force enterprise accounting into a fluid retail database where things can be easily deleted or altered, you will absolutely fail your financial audits.
That is the crux of the issue. You cannot have a database table that is both fluidly operational and financially immutable at the exact same time.
You just can't.
So you separate them, but you integrate them with extreme precision.
Yes. The synchronization workflows between 24x7 Retail and Acumatica ERP are incredibly detailed.
What exactly is flowing between them?
Well, 24x7 Retail manages the product master data, the pricing, the sales transactions, the goods receipts, and the inventory valuation.
Oh.
And then, acting as the ultimate source of truth, it seamlessly syncs those operational results directly into Acumatica.
Let's break down that sync, because I'm curious, does every single pack of gum sold ping the Acumatica general ledger individually?
Good question.
Because that seems like it would just recreate the database locking issue we just talked about.
Great question. And the answer is no, because of how the API integration is structured.
Oh, thank goodness.
Acumatica isn't looking at the individual pack of gum in real time. The integration aggregates the operational data, the financial posting, the inventory valuation shifts, the sales synchronization. These are passed to Acumatica in structured, consolidated formats.
Ah, so Acumatica receives the financial impact of the day's operations, not the raw, messy operational noise.
Exactly. The statisticians in the booth don't need to know that the quarterback scrambled left before throwing the pass. They just need to record the 6 points in the yardage.
That is a perfect analogy.
This integration strategy allows organizations to maintain a friction-free retail execution environment while simultaneously leveraging enterprise-grade accounting controls.
And with the operations humming smoothly on the field and the finances being perfectly tracked and consolidated in the booth, management finally unlocks the holy grail of enterprise business, true operational visibility.
Yes. Because you have this unified architecture cleanly feeding data upward, it enables incredibly powerful centralized dashboards.
Right.
Management isn't just looking at backward-facing monthly Excel reports that take 3 weeks to compile. They're getting real-time operational intelligence.
Think about your own infrastructure for a second, if you're a leader listening to this.
Yeah.
Can you pull up a dashboard right now and see gross profit margins by specific regions in real time?
Most can't.
Can you run a stock aging analysis to see exactly which warehouse is holding inventory that is about to become obsolete?
With this architecture, you can. You get granular, actionable data. You can see cashier activity and performance metrics. You get branch-by-branch profitability visibility.
Everything is visible.
All of it feeds data-driven leadership. When the operational data is clean, standardized in 24x7 Retail, and financially validated in Acumatica, a retail executive can see a micro-trend forming on a Tuesday afternoon and adjust the global procurement strategy by Wednesday morning.
And from what the architectural overview outlines, this setup isn't just about solving today's supply chain problems, it's highly focused on future-proofing the enterprise.
Very much so.
The platform's cloud readiness, the API-first design, the modular architecture, it means it's prepping for the next massive wave of digital transformation. It supports scalable SaaS deployment and mobile operational workflows.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the reason that modular, cleanly separated architecture is so vital is because of what is already arriving at the enterprise level. AI-driven retail.
Oh, yeah. AI changes everything.
We are on the cusp of true unified commerce.
This is the part that completely changes the game. We are moving from descriptive analytics, where the system tells you what you sold, to predictive inventory, where the system tells you what you will sell.
But AI is only as good as the structured data it trains on.
Right.
If your retail systems are a siloed mess of disconnected software, integrating enterprise analytics or AI is an absolute nightmare.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. It's a messy, expensive integration project that usually results in the AI hallucinating or making terrible supply chain decisions because the underlying data is conflicted.
Right. If the warehouse software says you have 50 laptops, but the accounting software thinks you only pay for 30, the AI doesn't know what reality is.
But because 24x7 Retail has already cleanly separated the data, standardized the operational workflows, and synchronized it beautifully with Acumatica ERP acting as the financial source of truth, adding an AI layer on top becomes seamless.
Let's look at a concrete scenario of how that actually functions. Let's bring back the sports analogy for a second.
Okay.
If the players are executing and the statisticians are tracking the cap, the AI becomes the ultimate offensive coordinator, predicting the defense's next move based on historical stats.
That's a perfect way to visualize it. Let's say a massive storm system is forming off a coast.
Right.
An AI-driven analytics layer can look at Acumatica's historical ledger and see the financial correlation between this specific weather pattern and a 400% spike in umbrella and generator sales in a specific region over the last 5 years.
So the AI recognizes the pattern, but because the operational engine is integrated, it can actually take action.
Exactly. It doesn't just send a report to a manager. The AI interacts with the 24x7 Retail operational engine.
Wow.
It automatically checks the multi-warehouse architecture, sees a surplus of umbrellas in a central hub 3 states away, and autonomously triggers a stock transfer, routing those umbrellas to the specific regional fulfillment centers in the storm's path, days before the rain even starts.
That's incredible.
And it does all of this while automatically updating the inventory valuation in Acumatica.
It's staggering. It can even handle supplier delays. If the AI detects that a primary supplier is running 2 weeks behind on shipping winter coats, it can automatically split the purchase orders in the back office operations, routing half the order to a secondary supplier to ensure the flagship stores don't experience stockouts.
The architecture sets the foundation for that level of autonomy. It provides long-term scalability because the data layer is fundamentally sound.
So to bring this massive architectural journey all back around for you listening, we've moved from the chaotic nightmare of disconnected software, where the warehouse, the storefront, and the accounting department are effectively speaking different languages, to a beautifully structured, highly integrated ecosystem.
Right.
24x7 Retail is doing the heavy lifting. It handles every sub-second barcode scan. It natively buffers offline transactions using cross-platform interfaces. It load balances the cloud API traffic, and it routes complex warehouse transfers with incredible speed and operational resilience.
And meanwhile, Acumatica ERP sits safely in the booth, acting as the flawless financial anchor, ensuring the enterprise remains perfectly balanced, fully compliant, and ready for audit.
Yeah.
It is a brilliant, highly disciplined approach to enterprise technology architecture.
It really is. And it leaves me thinking about where this all heads next.
It raises a profound question for the future, I think.
Yeah.
As predictive AI begins taking over the replenishment logic, and automated algorithms start managing these massive inventory transfers autonomously within platforms like 24x7 Retail, we are moving rapidly toward a reality where enterprise software doesn't just execute operations, it anticipates them entirely.
Which fundamentally changes the human element.
It does.
Yeah.
Will the retail leaders and supply chain managers of tomorrow still be operators actively pulling the levers of supply and demand? Or will they simply become supervisors of highly intelligent, completely autonomous retail ecosystems?
That is a wild, paradigm-shifting thought to leave on. The fully autonomous enterprise might be a lot closer than we think, provided the underlying architecture is built to handle it. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the technical scalability and operational philosophy of modern retail.
Always a pleasure.
The next time you walk into a massive retail chain and that barcode scanner beeps instantly, you might just look at that simple cash register a little bit differently, knowing the incredibly complex, load-balanced, mathematically separated global ecosystem humming quietly behind it. Until next time.